Hi, I'm Casey.
And I'm Gianni.
I never finished reading the Animorphs books as a kid, and I still haven't as an adult.
And I've never read them.
We can't tell you where we live.
But we can tell you that we want to revisit these books as adults and dive into what we would keep or change if we were to put it on TV.
Two friends, 50-something books. Welcome to Morphin Buddies.
And then the music kicks in, and then people are just so ready.
Hey everybody, welcome to the next episode of Morphin Buddies with me, your host Casey Cisnowski, and a dancing Gianni across from me.
Yeah, they're playing the music.
Ooh.
They're playing my
music?
playing my song. I don't know what it is.
What's your song?
But it's good. It's something Chapel
Is
Run.
it?
It's got to be Chapel Run.
Oh, all right,
That's where
all
I'm
right.
at.
I dig. What's what the My Kink is Karma?
Hell
Love
yeah.
that song?
Hell yeah. That's a good
Love
one.
that song.
That's a good song.
See,
yeah.
I would have guessed for you like one of your hype up songs would be like "Stars Are Blind" by Paris Hilton.
That's so. What a pull. What a pull. No, it would be like Paris Hilton and Repo the Genetic Opera would be like.
Oh my God! Yes, absolutely. Love that.
We just made
comes in a little glass vial.
A little glass vial? Yeah.
A little glass vial.
We just made one person so happy. One person who
Oh my
used
God,
to
I hope
have
so.
Tumblr is listening to this show and is thrilled right now.
And they literally just went, "Oh
Yeah.
my God!"
And everybody else, that wasn't for you. It was for that
I will
person.
tell you this. I will tell you this. After the first time I watched Repo the Genetic Opera, I went to Target online and I bought the hard copy of the DVD.
That's so beautiful.
And I have it.
I'll tell you this. I had a friend who wanted me to watch it so bad that they like pirated all of the music from it and gave it to me as a CD so that I could listen to it in my car. So that was how I knew Repo the Genetic Opera. But yeah,
It's great.
what a film! What a film!
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Classic. Now, Mr. Gianni, we're going to go back in time a little bit. I wanted to bring this up because I felt it was very important to the world of science and our listeners.
Oh gosh.
Do you want to tell our audience what you told me a few days ago? The new information you bestowed upon me about shrimp.
About the shrimps? Yeah. Yeah. I found. Hold on. Wait. Let me pull it up because I found. I sent it to you because there's someone who posted a tweet, and the tweet is from an account at Equin_dentist. The tweet is a picture, and the picture is a news like blurb
Headline
from the Smithsonian Magazine that says, quote, "You might think of shrimp as bugs of the sea, but a remarkable discovery shows the opposite. Bugs are actually shrimp of the land." And then the equine dentist says, "Bug is shrimp?"
So then I was like, wait, it's not a bug as a bug. It's now a bug as a shrimp?
A bug is a
Question
shrimp.
mark?
It really throws a wrench in it. But they're coming around,
They're coming around, yeah.
I liked it because they're getting closer to the ultimate discovery, which is that a bug is a bug. And a shrimp is a bug. And I guess bug is shrimp, but you know, but shrimp is a bug, and a bug is a bug, as we know.
Bug is a bug. And you came up with it first to just putting it out there.
That's true. I mean, the Smithsonian Magazine is catching up to me, really, is what it is. Do we want our Snapple fact today? It's fish have eyelids. Did not know that.
Cool. Didn't need that in my life.
Fish have eyelids. That's the shortest Snapple fact I've ever read.
Fish have
eyelids. Also, it almost looks like they put no effort into it because there's like barely a space between fish and have on this.
Oh, so it's fish have eyelids.
Fish have eyelids. Fish have eyelids. Fish have eyelids. I'm getting super into Snapple. I've reached
Yeah.
my final form. This
Oh, yeah.
Snapple's gonna save my life right now, guys.
Yeah, Mr. Gianni's hydrating up on the Snapple. I'm still on the water game. Don't come for me. I like water. Leave me alone.
I like water too. I got my water right here.
Oh, yeah.
Water jug.
You've got
This
a
is
big
Bubba.
jug.
This is Bubba. Actually, people make fun of me, but it really is called Bubba. I'm not
Oh, cute.
lying.
It is a Bubba jug.
Yeah, and it's huge.
Bubba Jug Shrimp Co.
And I put water in it because Lord knows I need that.
Rehydrate, Gianni. All right. So I will. We got another email.
We did.
From our buddy Jens. Hey Jens.
Oh, Yen!
What's up, buddy?
Love it. Is it
Please.
Yen or Jens?
Jens.
with a
Jens. I assume so.
Oh.
Let us know if we're pronouncing your name wrong because I want to make sure we get it
Soft J.
right. Yeah,
Soft
I
J.
think.
Yen.
I think.
Jens.
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 So Jens said, I just listened to your podcast about book 22, so where they trap David in the rat morph. And I feel pretty strongly about the ending, so here's my headcanon. When David is trapped in the box, Rachel volunteers to stay behind for those 2 hours and do the quote-unquote dirty work. The others can leave. Cassie's plan was to trap him in rat morph, but it is implied that Rachel will kill him. Having someone with thought speech alive who knows every detail about them is too much of a risk. The Animorphs never again speak about it. The episode of your adaptation series can end with Rachel's foot on David's box, ready to crush him. It is those cries for mercy that she will never get out of her head.
I love that. I would rather it.
Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
That's so chilling.
Let her do the dirty work because that's what she's there for. Because as we know, Rachel rocks.
Yes.
And that's it. Because,
There you go.
Yeah, because Jake is turning out fine.
Yeah.
And Cassie is becoming my new number one enemy.
No. But I get why. I get it.
Rachel rocks. And
she does.
And yeah, and I think more murder should happen. I am over in this economy. I'm over the no kill rule personally, and I think Batman, Daredevil, and the Animorphs should just start killing.
Wow. Breaking the code.
That's my hot take of the day.
Listen, Gianni, this was a different
and I won't
time.
elaborate.
This was a different time, though. This was the 90s when everyone was just chilling out wearing flannel and baggy jeans. I mean, it's coming back. It's back now for the moment.
Yeah.
But, we didn't have a
Yeah.
care in the 90s. We were just chilling out, relaxing from the time of the 80s, you know? And now we're just
That's true.
crashing and burning and being brainwashed.
It's true. This is inside baseball that no one needed, but I was in a commercial recently.
No
And
way!
I won't say the name of the company, but I was in a commercial recently, and they wanted me to dress like a very Gen Z person. And so in working with the costume designer of it, they put me in so many baggy jeans to the point where I was like, what's going on? Are we gonna shoot the commercial,
No.
is this just an elaborate prank to get me
Only
in
jeans.
increasingly wider and wider jeans? It was, and I mean, they were. You know what's funny is you'd think they'd be more comfortable, but they're not. They're not more comfortable.
Well,
than just
jeans
regular
aren't
jeans.
really comfortable to begin with. I will.
Yeah.
I used to love jeans.
I love jeans.
Yeah, I used to.
I love jeans.
I'm a
Big
cloth
jeans guy.
I'm a cloth pants lady now.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm in my sweatpants right
Comfy.
now. You know what I mean?
I'm also in sweatpants.
Look at you! Look at you! You should tell the people about your shirt because I know
yes.
we're doing everything we can to stall from talking about this book. I want to talk about this shirt.
Yeah, so right now I'm wearing a shirt. I should give this guy a shout out because he's one of my favorite people. So in case you don't know or don't watch, I watch Philip DeFranco on YouTube. If you don't know who that is, that guy is, in my opinion, the best source of non-biased, fact-based news that you can find. It's mainly American based because he lives in America, but he has a whole team that researches the information. He tries to give the information without his opinion, and then you'll say, here's my opinion, kind of at the end. He always clarifies that. And then he encourages respectful discussion in the comments. Anyway, long story short, he has a clothing company called beautifulbastard.com, which I love to support because I love the clothes. And I'm wearing one of his shirts that was recently released. And on the front, we got a little goose with glasses sitting in a big red chair, holding a newspaper, which on the front of the newspaper, it just says honk with stocks.
Yeah.
And
Really paint the picture.
it's so cute. And then at the top, it says a silly goose. And then at the bottom, it says in this economy. And I just felt like, wow, in these trying times, this is appropriate. So
I love it.
That's what I'm wearing right now, and it's very comfortable.
I'm a big fan.
Please go support him if you don't know who he is. Give him a watch. Go subscribe because we need more non-biased news in our world. Please stop putting your bias in news.
That's true. That is true. I have never seen his show, but I think that all of the Morphin Buddies should go
absolutely
and watch it.
Yes.
And comment and say, I'm here because Morphin Buddies just
oh my God,
hits.
please do.
Then we get the cross-platform. We pull his people. They're like, Morphin Buddies, what's that?
Oh
they go
my
check out
God. If you were to read
That's
the
how we do
comments
it.
and just like pop in at some point and be like, hey, Morphin Buddies, I'd lose my shit. I would be so excited.
Look at that.
I've been watching him for like at least 7 years. Like, I love him. So
I love that. Imagine he pops up on our show.
Holy shit.
Dude.
Dude.
We have a guest star.
Look, Philip DeFranco, you are absolutely welcome to come talk about Animorphs, even if you don't know anything about them. Come on the show. We'd love to have
Please.
you if you have the time. I know you're a busy man. He's a busy man.
Por favor.
Yeah, por favor. All right, so should we dive into this book, Mr. Gianni? The Extreme,
All right.
book 25. We got Marco morphing into a polar bear on the front, making really uncomfortable eye contact with us.
Yeah,
and
the whole time.
In
the longest shirt known to man.
the longest 2 shirts that are all the way down past his butt. Crazy.
Yeah, the first shirt he put on, and he was like, "It's not long enough."
Longer.
Got a longer.
Now, Gianni, here's my question. Do you still think that this was a ghost-written book?
Oh wait, I didn't expect this question.
Oh, I got him.
Do I still think this is a ghost-written book? I'm leaning towards yes, and the reason is not because the writing in it is particularly like ghost writer. Like it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like. I actually think the characterization is pretty true to everything that Applegate suggests. The reason that I think. Only because you said the question. Now I'm thinking it was. Because...
Well, no, I could be asking you this through the series, as we go forward. Because there is actually a point where 20 books in a row are ghostwritten.
20 in a row?
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. She basically didn't even write it at that point. She didn't even write the series. 20 in a row is mind-boggling. Okay.
Mm.
Well, I don't know. I think this one ghost-written because nothing happens or changes at all. This is just another biome book.
It's a different it's a different environment, different biome.
That's and we've seen this now a couple of times. We've seen when we read The Forgotten, that's the one that sticks out most clearly in my mind, just because
or the dinosaur
we got that
one.
email recently, or the dinosaur one. Like there are books in the series, as has been established, that literally the only goal is we gotta show people a new setting that's different from Forks, Washington, where the book typically takes place, and this is one of those books. Without that, this book does nothing. There's nothing that this book is so ineffective. It's so ironic that this book is called The Extreme when it is the most benign book in this series. There is nothing remarkable about this book at all. So if you want a book that is just not going to not going to ruffle any feathers one way or the other, here it is. It's for you. Well, this is the most skippable entry I think we've read to date.
I mean, I didn't think it was most skippable.
Not my least favorite
Yeah.
by any stretch of the imagination. I just think that there's truly and honestly nothing that happens of any remarkable.
Yeah, to like move
intrigue.
the story forward or whatever. Yeah, no, I would agree with you to that. There is one scene in this book that I really, really loved, but it's barely there. And it's there for like a few minutes, a few pages, and then it's over, and the rest of it just kind of moves along and just does what it does. I thought it was fine. I will tell you, this was a ghostwritten book.
Oh my God, I'm a genius.
You are a genius.
I'm literally the smartest detective in the world.
The way that it kind of rang out for me, even though I knew it was ghostwritten, I felt like the humor, especially in the beginning, was a little more exaggerated and a little more like cocky, like, oh, you guys know who we are, kind of like cocky a little bit. And I was like, I feel like it's kind of leaning in a little too much into the we're so funny and jokey with each other, which it's not necessarily a bad thing, but like if you're trying to figure out what's the difference between ghostwriting and like the original author, that's something that stood out to me. Not saying it was bad or poorly done in any way like that, but just like to me, that's something that kind of stuck out for me.
Interesting. Yeah, it does go to pretty dramatic lengths to have that first chapter not start the same way as every other first book.
Yeah.
It's like here's this other thing, this bait and switch. Well then, by the way, I guess I should mention that I'm an animal. Well, basically like a superhero or something.
Yeah.
And that's interesting that you made note of that. Wow, I'm so smart. I'm literally so smart.
Wow.
I'm so hungover and so smart.
At the same time, Gianni, you're a miracle.
Inside you, there are two wolves. One of them is brutally hungover. The other is talking about animals.
And by the end of this episode, both will be dead.
Yes.
Should we dive into this book, Mr. Gianni?
I think we should. I think we should just talk about this book.
I think we should.
Yeah, tell the people all the nothing that happens in this book. So the book starts out, and Marco has a date. And if you thought that was going to be a plot development, don't worry, they disregarded in the beginning of the very next chapter. Marco has a date with a super hot girl, and
Marion.
She asked him out, and she asked him to the opera or something.
To Beethoven Symphony concert.
Yeah, Beethoven, was it the third or something like that? The third symphony or something to that effect.
Something like that.
And he says that, I prefer the 33rd. And she's like, what? And he's like, joke.
Joke.
Right?
And she's like, okay.
She's like, sure. Do you want to come or whatever? And then he apparently off screen goes and falls asleep, and she leaves him there.
Which is great. Honestly, I wish we would have been there. I wish it wouldn't have happened off screen. It would have been so much funnier if, like, we were reading in his voice about how he's getting sleepy, and then his thought just kind of trails off, and then he wakes up and he realizes he's by himself, like an usher is waking him up or something.
Yeah, that's hilarious. But, like, I mean...
That would be so funny.
But how do you leave him? It's not like he could drive. Like, how did he get there in the first place?
She's like, wait, did you ever see What About Bob? With Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss?
I don't think I did, no.
Oh, my God. Okay. Great movie. Really fun. There's a scene where Bill Murray is asleep in a bed, and Richard Dreyfuss comes in and is trying to get him up because he wants him out of his house.
Yeah.
So he's like shaking him and screaming. He's like, Bob! Bob! And he's like slamming his hands on his arm and shoulder, like shaking him in the bed. And he can't get him up. Bob doesn't wake up. And then he finally gives up. He's like, oh, fine. And then 3 seconds later, his alarm clock goes off, and Bob goes, oh, hey, good morning. Like he just immediately wakes up. It could have been that type of situation, Gianni,
It could have.
where she's just shaking him, shaking him, and he just couldn't wake up.
We'll never know. We'll never know.
We'll never know. If we had been there, it might have been different.
Who's to say, you know? But yeah, he fumbles the bag on that one. And then somewhere along the line, Eric, as we all know, our favorite Chi, comes up to them.
Our favorite exposition character.
Yes, the Chi are getting on my fucking nerves. I gotta be honest with you.
Oh no!
Let me tell you, I was fine, whatever. But now the hologram thing has just gone too far. We've gone far too far.
It's so convenient. So convenient.
We've gone far too far with the hologram thing. But anyway, Eric comes up and he's like, "We have a situation, and here's the exposition," and he does his little rigmarole, and basically he says that the Yeerks are trying to
broadcast.
Yeah, like do something with satellites.
Yeah, they're trying to.
So much unnecessary information in this that I actually block a lot of it out of my brain. Thank God I have notes,
I totally
because
get that.
I literally was like, that can't be right. The satellites? I was like, there's nothing to do with that, but it's true. He does say there's something with satellites. They're trying to.
Yeah, they're trying to broadcast Kandrona rays into the satellites that are going to reflect back into the waters of Earth, the entire Earth, and turn the waters into Kandrona infested water, so that way they can go in the ocean and be fine and feed all the time. So then it continues their domination. That's a lot of satellite, just FYI. I don't know how big this satellite is.
Whatever, you know.
But it's very big.
It makes whatever. We're pushing the plot.
Satellite.
We're pushing the plot.
But there is a line in here that I wanted to mention where Marco tells the gang about how badly his date went. And Rachel gives him a nice little zinger. She's like, "Oh, she wasn't your type anyway. She had taste in music." and Marco's like, "Oh, how
rude.
Dare you?"
Rude, but
I
accurate.
like music. Accurate. Well, I mean, he likes Bob Marley. We like Bob Marley.
Sure.
Bob Marley's nice.
Yeah. It's a kind of.
That's all we know.
Kind of crazy pull, but yeah, I mean, go for it. Yes.
So then Eric said, "I also found a new feeding meadow that the Visser feeds at. So we can go there."
I forgot about this too. I forgot everything in this book. You're right. There's a meadow. Yeah. So we should go and like spy on him, but not really.
Yeah, or like follow him onto his ship or to get to this satellite or something. I don't know 100% why. It wasn't clear.
Yeah,
it wasn't clear.
It's not clear at all. But basically, they're like, "Oh, well, we got to go to the meadow, of course." So
yeah.
They morph.
And Eric's gonna cover for all of them. Holographs for all the kids.
Yes, I will cover for you while you're gone. That she will put up holograms in your house so that no one
of every single
wiser.
one of you forever.
Now,
in house, in school, outside.
This is where I'm like, what the fuck are we talking? What are we talking about? Because if we recall, if we trace back our Eric origins, he got hit by a bus, which is where we saw the fault in the hologram for the first time.
Right, we saw a glitch.
So we know that organic matter coming into contact with the hologram can,
mess it up,
disrupt it. So we're now expecting the hologram to work. When he's just constantly careening through the house. Like, if you sit in a chair, does the hologram then, like, fuck up? Like,
well, Gianni, that was an unknown instance happening. The bus driver didn't give him any warnings. It's just a bus and it just hits children, Yeah, so that's what it does.
But so when Jake's older brother Thom, like, claps him on the shoulder, like, what happens? You know what I mean? Like,
whoosh.
There's so many variables, and you have no specified time frame for how long this is going to take either. So it's like, what are we doing?
I was also thinking, like, if they're eating food, sure, you can make a hologram making it look like the plate is empty, but as soon as that hologram leaves the room, all that real food is going to be back on the plate.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's such a good point. Yeah, what are we doing there? What are you, while
How
the
do you-
hologram's active, you're throwing it in the trash? What are we doing?
You can't put matter into antimatter. You can't do it. At least not to my knowledge.
Maybe Eric's just hogging it for real. He's putting up the hologram and he's like, let me get some of this. Let me get some
Heck
of
yeah.
these taters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
like
God.
that.
Just ridiculous. But yeah, so then he's like, yeah, I'll hologram for all of you, whatever. Mm-hmm. They're like, sure. So then
They all morph birds.
you know what?
Yep.
One more thing. One more
Go
thing
ahead.
that sticks
ahead,
in my
Gianni.
fucking craw. Okay, about the hologram thing. Is that
Tell us, open your craw.
is that it? You know what it's giving? It's giving like the whole. It was all a dream. You know what I mean? Like they're preparing me for the ultimate letdown, which is like, actually, this was all a hologram. You killed Vista 3? Just kidding. It was a hologram the whole time.
and then it's inside another hologram.
I'm mad, having not read that yet. I'm mad now. So if they do that, I'm gonna be extra pissed. I'm putting the investment in the stock now.
Yes.
That if that shit happens, I will be extra mad. Just
If
so
they
you
kill
know.
Visser 3 and it turns out to be a hologram, you're going to be mad.
I'll riot. I'll fucking riot. I will rage against the machine. That band got together for me.
You're going to take off your shoe and throw it at a store window. And
Yeah.
they're going to be like, why? And you'll be like, too complicated. I got to go.
Yeah. You gotta listen to the Morphin.
Go listen to our episode, The Extreme.
It'll explain everything.
We're so mad. So yeah.
Yeah, they morph birds.
They morph birds. And then they're like, oh, there's the Visser just being in a meadow, being an Andalite. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And so they all land, demorph, then they all morph into flies, which this was kind of fun for me, but also kind of like, what's happening? Where the whole gang decide to fly and land on Visser 3's underbelly, the centaur underbelly, and so they can be hidden, and he's not going to expect them. Okay, and it's okay. This made me really laugh because they were like, "How are we going to find the Visser? It's hard to see through fly eyes," and they were like, "Just smell, because he's probably going to stink." And then Axe chimes in. And he's like, he does not stink. Andalites have never been known to stink.
Yeah, the Andalites never stink. Yeah, that's always funny.
And so they're like, okay, whatever, Axe. They find him. They get in there. And then they find out, they're listening through thought speaking. Good thing Visser always like broadcasts every single thought he ever has about anything.
Yeah, Marco even says it's like the guy never whispers or something.
Yeah, cool. So they realize there's this alien race called the Venber. And Axe is like, hey, those went extinct, I'm pretty sure, because they can only survive in super cold temperatures.
This annoyed the shit out of me. I'll say this.
Yes.
So Axe is like, it sounded like he said the Venber. No, I must have heard him wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately the next sentence, Mr. 3 says the Venber again. And Axe does not clarify any information about the Venber.
Nope.
Until asked way later in the book. And that pissed me off.
I don't blame you. Yeah, it kind of annoyed me too.
If I was one of the Animorphs, I'd be like, what do you mean? Why?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
It's this whole
What are
thing
the
where
Venber?
it's like it's like you're watching a movie and you're like, just talk to each other. And the whole plot would be done.
Why are we so fatally uncurious about this?
Yes.
What are we talking about?
Yes, so...
Silly goose.
Oh, in this economy? Oh, no.
In this economy.
So the Venber, he's like, the Venber are helping us, me, the Visser, and the Yerks and all that. And so the Visser goes into his ship with all the flies still on his underbelly. And he gets in the ship, and they realize the Visser is in a room by himself. And so the whole gang talk to Axe, and they're like, Axe, pretend to be the Visser and call the guards in to annoy him. And Axe is like, okay.
Genius. Yeah.
And
Real smart.
He does it 3 times, and the Visser gets so pissed that he actually kills one of the guards just out of annoyance. Can't say I blame him. And then there are really gross morph descriptions from fly into human and back into fly, which I was like,
yeah. Rachel's in particular, where it's just her bug eyes left, and her body is like almost fully human. I was like, why are we
gross.
going into detail
I think
on this?
it was to improve page count. Just fill in some space. You know what I mean? You gotta fill some time with this book. So then the Visser realizes, hey, there's probably the Andalite bandits on board. Guards, is really me this time. Let's go get the Andalite bandits. And then they all like run out of the hall, and they're like looking, where could they be? Like everywhere. Like they could be anywhere. So then the gang are like, let's follow some lights and see where it goes. So they follow these lights. They fly into a storage room.
Genius.
They demorph and start morphing into battle morphs, and then they see these creatures frozen in a tube. Could that be the Venber? But aren't they supposed to be dead? Oh my god.
Who knows? We won't find out for another 50 pages.
So they're all cornered in the storage room, battle morphs. Rachel's like, you know what? If they're protecting this thing, I'm gonna destroy it. And she grizzly claws the heck out of the frozen tube, destroys it. The Venber fall out and they melt into gooey puddles. Like me, anytime I see Pedro Pascal. And then they and then the blade ship opens up, or they jump out of a door. And
well, if I recall correctly, it was they get ambushed because Visser like has all the guys in there, and he's like, get out of here or whatever, and they're like, he won't shoot because he doesn't want to break these
cylinders
or whatever, right? And then that's when she goes full Monty, breaks it to distract him so that they get away.
Yeah.
And then they tumble out into the frozen tundra.
Very cool.
And they're like, what's happening?
Where are we?
And the Visser 3, who has them dead to rights, flies away.
Pussy!
He's in no rush.
No.
And they fly away, and they're like, well, we'll get them later. And so they're freezing to death in their battle morphs.
Axe and Tobias both nearly die. Poor Tobias is just like a shivering little bird. Just
little guy.
Almost dead.
Little guy.
Yeah.
So they morph into, if I recall, it's fleas, right? And they get on somebody.
Yeah, Axe and Tobias morph into fleas, and everybody else morphs into wolves because that's the warmest morph that they have.
Well, Marco stays as a gorilla for a bit, but then almost passes out from being frozen.
Yeah, he almost gets the hypothermia.
They're like remorph into wolf.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're wolves, and they're marching through the frozen snow, and the whole fucking book is this, because they're just wandering through the snow. Oh, hope you like snow, because the whole fucking book is this now from here on out.
Yeah.
They're wandering through the snow. We get like a really explicit depiction of how polar bears hunt seals, which I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And then they all get hungry, and they go and they eat the seal.
Wait,
I think
not
somewhere
yet. Hang on.
there's the cave scene, right?
They see these little guys walking around out in this frozen tundra, and they realize, could this be November? Is this November that we're talking about? And then the Vember see them, and they start blasting. And they're just blasting at these guys. And the gang gets away. That's when they find the polar bear, and they're like, oh, this is how polar bears hunt. Cool. And they dig a lair in the snow, and all curl in there as wolves, and they sleep and hide for the night, taking turns watching and demorphing and remorphing. So then we get Axe giving us a little bit of lore on the Venber, saying they were discovered by another race called the Five, who exploited the Venber.
Right. So this was the only thing in the book that I was like,
might come back.
maybe this is a thing, because my immediate thought was, and I hate that I had this thought because I don't like it, but but my immediate thought was, oh, the 5 Animorphs, and then I was like, wait, they're gonna do some time travel shit, and they're gonna fucking. And then I was like, no, because the more you learn about the 5, what they did, they were like, these guys fucking suck.
Yeah, they exploited them.
The 5 are the worst.
They were bad. Bad.
But my immediate thought was, oh yeah, it's gonna be the Animorphs or whatever. And I was like, no, I hope not, because now we're the 6.
Yeah.
So, right.
Yeah, with
So
Axe, we're the 6.
Yeah, we can't be even though every fucking plot description leaves Axe out of the Animorphs. That annoys
the Animorphs and Axe.
Yeah,
what?
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why? What are you preparing me for?
He's our buddy. So then Axe is like, hey, the Venber melt at above freezing temperatures, and the 5 melted the Venber and used their ooze to power their computers. So they're actively murdering an entire race just for computer power, which, I'm not a fan of that. And,
I like it.
Of course you did. You're choosing violence today, Gianni. I like it.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Why
Today's
not?
the day.
Why not?
Lovely Wednesday.
I say if you can power a computer, you should kill everybody.
Oh my God.
As we all know,
yes.
Tech company good.
Tech company good, people bad.
As we all know.
Oh, so the Venber were gooed so much that they completely were eliminated, or so we thought.
Facts.
And it seems that the Yeerks combined Venber DNA with human DNA to bring them back. Now, I thought this was a cool little twist in the book, because I thought at some point later on in the book, we'd trap a Venber and it would beg for its life because it has human DNA. I thought that would have been so cool and kind of crazy. We don't get that. We don't get that. Aww.
No, they don't want these things coming around to any other books. So
No.
they're like, get rid of them now.
No, but it would have been so cool. But yeah.
Yeah.
So then they all go to sleep.
Also,
yes.
Not for nothing, but if you click on the Venber link on the Seropedia.
Oh yeah.
You get this fucking picture.
Ew! What is that ET looking
that guy.
motherfucker? What is that? That looks like a tortoise.
If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go to the Venber.
Ew. Honestly,
Seropedia.
it's not
Holy shit.
too far off. It does look like ET, but anorexic.
It does
And a
confirm
tortoise.
his first and only appearance. is in
Gianni,
this game, so
spoilers. Well, they're all
Sorry.
dead, so
Sorry,
we know
I don't
they
normally
come
do
back.
that, but I wanted to fess up. I wanted to fess up because I saw it, but I was right. Because
No,
we
you
don't want
absolutely
these
were
guys
right.
coming
Yeah,
up for
yeah.
any other books.
So they all wake up and then they watch a polar bear pull a seal out of the ice, and they're like,
Yeah.
we're pretty hungry, and that bear only half ate the seal. So, and then they all have this really serious moment of morality of well, I mean, we're hungry. This is what animals do. We need to eat to survive.
Give me a
And so
fucking break.
No,
Give me a fucking
Gianni,
break
I
with
was
this.
there. I would be doing the same thing.
Give me a fucking break with this.
No!
The only reason that I'm give me a fucking break with this is because we're book 25 now.
Yeah.
We haven't experienced this before. This is
No.
insane.
We haven't eaten any live animals that we just saw was alive. And also,
Tobias has been done doing this for fucking weeks,
but
and he doesn't say dick in this. And
yeah,
I was
because
so
Tobias
mad.
is
I
a
was like,
flea right now. He doesn't have to do it. Well, he could have offered advice. He could have offered advice.
That's what I'm
fair.
saying.
Yeah.
I just wanted Tobias to speak up and be like, well, you guys are basically saying that my whole way of existing doesn't matter to you, or
That's a good
just
point.
have some sort of commentary. And Cassie, oh my god, I wanted to.
Oh my god.
I wanted to fucking throw her in the ice. Cassie is Marco brings up the very valid point of being basically implying that someone might not want to eat the seal, and Cassie's like, gets all offended and is like, "What, me? What? You think I'm just some tree hugging like?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know." and she says, "My principles are basically this: don't kill something unless you absolutely have to. But if you're a wolf and you're starving in the frozen tundra, then you should eat." And Marco's like, "Wow, I stand corrected, and Cassie's definitely not a morning person." And I was like, "No, I would be so pissed." First of all, you, Cassie, raised a stink about the fucking Nazi that you were hanging out with and didn't want to kill. The fucking Yerk, a couple books back, everybody else forgot. I didn't forget, okay? I didn't forget that you're not cut out for the fucking Animorphs. And she's here, and she's like, but Yerks are sentient creatures, and maybe they should see. Get fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you have those opinions, and then you expect us to be like, well, obviously Cassie's going to be cool with it. No! My first thought is agreeing with Marco that Cassie won't be cool with this, and I don't think that's an unreasonable reaction considering you almost saved a fucking Nazi. Also, the whole thing with the fucking skunk family or whatever that Tobias killed, like one of them or... No, that was a rabbit. But either way, she saved that whole family for fucking nothing because she is a tree-hugging douche, and she should just own it and leave the Animorphs alone.
Gianni.
Just go retire. Go off into the sunset. Get out of here with all of this hoity-toity, ridiculous drama.
Listen.
Just causing problems just to have problems.
Listen, may I offer a gentle counterpoint? You can be both... Okay.
No, go ahead.
You can be both empathetic to other creatures and still be able to kill when it's absolutely necessary. Both those things can be true at the same time.
Sure.
So, there you go.
No, I agree with that. I'm saying the characterization of Cassie annoys the fucking piss out of me.
Because it feels like...
Why would you be so upset?
It feels like page flipping a lot.
Why would you be so upset if someone
yeah.
assuming that about you?
Yeah.
Why would you... Because my first thought is... Yeah, of course you'd be the person that's going to be the most against this.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you? And then she gets all upset about it. What do you mean?
Well, I think
you almost saved a Yerk.
I think it's the fact that everyone just kind of all looked at her as if like she was to give them permission, and she's like, "Don't ask me for permission. Like, we're hungry, we're starving. Like, let's just eat and get energy." Like, I feel like the way it was written, kind of, it definitely did make it feel like she was like, "How dare you think of me this way?" But no, she could have just said, "Look, yeah, I think about that, but I don't know why you're all looking at me. We need to eat. And at the end of the day, I don't want to die. And that thing's already dead. That seal's already dead." And then they look out to the water and they see two baby seals staring at the dead, ripped apart mom. And I was like,
yeah, that was bleak. That was bleak.
I was so bleak.
Yeah, that was bleak. I forgot about that.
I in my notes, I put a little sad face. Oop, there we go. I put a little sad face next to my notes because I was like, oh no. But then they're like, I have a great idea. So they morph dolphins. They grab one of the baby seals, drag it onto the ice.
And let's traumatize this thing too.
Poor
while
little
we're
guy.
At it.
And they all acquire
and
the
they all
seal.
Get his morph.
Yeah, they get him, and so now they have an Arctic morph. Great.
Right. They immediately get attacked again by, I presume, the Venber. They just start blasting. So they then turn into seals and narrowly escape into the waters below.
Mm-hmm. But then they get chased by orcas. So
then killer whales come and they crash out through the ice. And I remember this moment because I actually quite like this moment where they crash out through the ice. Marco looks down. He sees, it's described as the smiling face of the orca, and he's like, "Jump!" or whatever, and they like, it crashes through the ice to try to get them. So they narrowly escape again, but now they're freezing.
Yeah.
And they come face to face with a man who is revealed to be
An Inuit?
Inuit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure how I say it, but
I'm not 100% certain either. But I was a little bit like, is this a little racist? Or is
I
it
was waiting for it
okay?
to really veer into...
It's very
like,
close.
It just kind of was like... it skates the line, just his mere presence alone, in and of itself, is kind of like...
Well, he was also like, I've been following my ancestors here. And I'm like, I don't know.
He keeps calling them spirits.
Yeah, spirit animals when they're clearly human.
So I'm like, but here's the thing. I don't know anything about Inuit culture. Maybe this is really
could
true.
be wrong.
I don't know.
But it just felt like very bare bones. I think this is how Inuits believe and act.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
And
He's
then
revealed to be named Derek. And
which
Marco,
is wild. Marco calls him out.
And Marco's like, I don't know what I expected your name to be.
Not
It
Derek.
wasn't Derek.
And then Derek's like, let me take you to my friend, Nanook. Which I was like, stop. Any name you think of from the Alaskan people who live there, the number one first thing you're gonna think of is Nanook, and I was like, that is so basic bitch of you, Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
don't be a basic bitch. Be more interesting, please.
Yeah, he explains he's hunting for seal pelts, but he obviously knows that they're different because they're like thought speaking to him, and he's like, he even like sees Axe's like natural Andalite morph, and is like, what are you or whatever. He's like, I'm an Andalite, and he's like pretty unfazed by it.
Yeah, he's
and
cool.
He just kind of thinks that he's just like interacting with the spirits or whatever.
All right, spirit animal,
I guess.
nice.
And so they ask for him to take him to Nanook, because they actually, I think the chapter ends with I think it's Rachel or maybe it's Cassie, but someone being like, do you think we would be able to pet him? Which I thought was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
But yeah, he takes him to see the polar bear Nanook, who is the polar bear who was hunting the seal originally.
And they choose violence. My God.
Yeah, Rachel in a grizzly morph goes and they just start having a
tackles
bear off.
him. A bear off.
And then the others all jump in to help like wrestle this thing to the ground. Derek's like, "Wow, that's super cool." And then they get the polar bear morph. In the very next chapter, Derek goes away off screen.
Bye. Just gone.
Don't know why. I was like, okay,
doesn't exist.
sure.
Gianni. Derek was a hologram.
Get fucked. Get fucked.
He was a hologram. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. Hologram. I'm calling
Goodness great. Yeah, and Marco's like, he could go tell whatever stories he wants to tell to his people. I doubt
who cares?
I doubt any controllers are going to be capturing any Inuit tribes.
Which
is like,
Marco?
I guess true, but hey,
watch yourself.
We're riding a pretty thin line. We're skating right on the edge.
We're getting real close to that.
Rubbing up against something.
Not good. Yeah. So then they get Nanook's DNA. Then they head to the base at night. They destroy the Venber base. Big battle. Kaboom.
They end up taking one of the Yeerk bug fighters. All the Venber melt. It's pretty sad. But yeah, they go out.
Yeah.
They go out with a whimper.
I kind of like the image of them running in the building or whatever, and they're melting as they're trying to run after our Animorph gang. I'm like, that's kind of sad and terrifying all at the same time. Like, I would love. That's cool.
You would think if they mixed them with human DNA, it would get rid of their most important flaw, but no.
Their boiling point.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. What if they were like half melting, but they couldn't melt all the way, so they're just in this like suffering point where their legs are gone and they're like crying out for help.
Hey.
But they can't. But they can't die.
Are you okay?
No. No.
Hey, kid, that was a crazy thought that you just had.
But you know, like I kind of like that stuff where it's like you look at it and you're like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, man.
That's fucked.
Casey's gonna get off this podcast and immediately watch The Substance. And
no, absolutely not. I can't do body horror. I think I talked about this before on this podcast. Can't do body horror. Spooky.
That's so funny
spooky
because what you just described was absolute body horror.
Yeah, but like if I see it on screen, that means it's real. And it's too realistic. I can see it like cartoony in my head. It's the same thing with like books. Like I can usually read pretty gory books, but like if I see it on the screen, then I'm like, oh, too real, too close to real life. Now I've watched people talk about The Substance in length, and like they describe the whole plot, and I'm like, dear Christ, I'm never watching this movie, but I appreciate it for what it is. I'm like, I'm never gonna see this. The whole scene where she's sitting on the couch and her knees fucked up, nope. Can't do it. Can't. That scares me too much.
No, I saw it in the theater, and it was it's an experience. It's an experience. I will say, because like I'm not squeamish about pretty much anything in film, but body horror is not for me. Like I'm not like a. I'm not into it. Like I watch it. I'm like, okay, this is clearly made for somebody else. And I felt that way about The Substance. I was like, this is an interesting movie. That's like the most bare bones feminism messaging.
I respect
that you could
it
possibly
though.
get across.
It affected a lot of people apparently.
But it definitely got into some people. I will say this: my cousin, and this is a true story. Shout out to Allie, love you. She saw the first 15 minutes and passed out in the theater and had to leave.
Oh my god! Was it like too much for her?
Yeah, she just does not like. She said she was like, I don't know when it happened, but she crossed some sort of threshold at some point in her young years, and could no longer stomach like anything remotely gory or grotesque. Like she just has like a really like visceral reaction to it, and so she's like, so I'll never finish that fucking movie.
That's so interesting, because like I was always super sheltered growing up. My mom would still preview like PG-13 movies when I was like 14/15, so we were like very sheltered, and so as an adult I've been slowly trying to increase my tolerance for like scary
exposure therapy.
Exposure therapy a little bit. Actually I was talking to my therapist about it because I was talking about my anxiety and trying to exposure therapy my anxiety a little bit because I didn't want to be scared of scared of stuff. So anyway, I don't know if that actually works or not, but maybe. Anyway, so I've been watching like I really do like thrillers. But body horror stuff is so hard for me to watch. Like I really wanted to watch The Thing, and I was determined to get it. This was like years ago, like before the pandemic. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to watch The Thing, and I'm going to sit here and watch it. Couldn't watch the first bit with the dog. Nope. Nope.
You noped out at the dog?
Not gonna watch the dog.
The first thing that happens.
Nope. I didn't nope out. I just closed my eyes. I was like, I'm not gonna watch what happens to this dog. I can't do it. And then I waited until the screams were done, and then I opened my eyes, and I was like, okay. Yeah. And then I got like maybe either a third.
Did you at least get to the blood testing scene?
Oh my god. Like okay, best. Listen. I got to the scene where the redheaded guy is in the snow and his hand is the claw, and he's like, "Rah!"
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, my anxiety is enough. I'm going to put this on pause. And I paused it, and I watched a bunch of happy videos, and then I went to bed. And then the next day, I woke up, and I was like, it's just a movie. I'm not going to let a movie defeat me. And so then I watched the rest of it, and the blood scene scared me so bad. Oh my god, the jump scare.
That's like one of my all-time favorite scenes in anything.
The jump scare to end all jump scares. Oh my god, that was terrifying. That was so scary. And And I love that movie. I absolutely respect it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again. I don't think I'll ever get to it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, and I'm also never going to watch The Fly.
Fair.
Just not in the cards for me. Never going to be able to watch it. It's grotesque. I don't like grotesque. Gross.
Yeah.
Blech.
Try it.
No, I'm good.
Give it a shot.
Dave, my boyfriend Dave wants
Give it a
me to
shot.
watch The Fly, and I'm like, never. How much can I tell you? Never
Give it a
in a
shot.
million 100,000 years, I will never watch that. I can't do it. I won't.
I think you should.
I will not.
I think you should.
Anyway.
I'm a big horror fan. I'm just not a body horror guy.
Yeah.
Like I just don't. Like, I won't seek it out. If someone tells me to watch them, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Like I watch Cronenberg movies, and I'm like, I get it. It's not for me, but I get it.
I don't like super unsettling stuff. Like, okay, quick tangent here, Morphin Buddies on horror movies. So the first Nightmare on Elm
There's nothing to talk about with the book, so you might as well just talk about anything.
Hey!
Like, we're pretty much at the end too.
Yeah,
so,
we're pretty close to
go
the
ahead.
end. So the first Nightmare on Elm Street, when the scene in the beginning where Freddy's stretching his arms out way wide,
Yeah.
I never knew that happened. I watched it as an adult and never saw it as a kid. And when that happened as an adult, I like backed into my couch. I was like, why? Why is this? No, that's not right. That's not right. When it's like a feeling of like, hey, something's wrong. And it's like very clearly something is very wrong. That's what scares me the most. I'd like body stuff happening in my body, being trapped in my own body and not like the first X-Men movie gave me like one of my first panic attacks because they're like his body's rejecting the DNA or whatever, and then he turns into water. And
the sort of like puddle fit where he kind of looks like Elon Musk for a second.
Yeah, exactly. But like as a kid, I was like 12 or 13. That gave me a panic attack, and I didn't understand what it was or why that happened. And I realized it's just because like that body rejecting type of stuff. Can't do it. It scares me too much. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's my trauma.
I've been scarred. I was scarred at a very young age from a lot of different movies, and I think then now I seek it. Now I look for excuses to get scared.
Yeah.
I actually this is so I can't believe I do this, and I'm admitting, but it's true. But what I do is I turn off all the lights in my apartment.
Don't do that.
If I know I'm watching a scary movie, I turn off all the lights in my apartment. And I'll watch it on my laptop with headphones so that I can really be in the soundscape of it.
Why would you do that?
Because I'm seeking a thrill. Like, I'll tell you this story. This is really funny. So I was sitting and I had my like feet propped up like over like my couch or whatever, and I was sitting and I was watching The Oddity, which is a scary movie that came out I think last year, and I was doing that. I was watching it, and there's a jump scare in The Oddity that I won't spoil for anybody, but there's a jump scare in The Oddity that got me so bad that I then tried to, like, get up, but I couldn't. My feet were trapped over the chair.
Oh, my God.
So then I was kind of, like, just spazzing, sneezing. And then I started laughing because I was like, this is just hilarious. That I'm alone in my apartment doing this. So I paused the movie to, like, collect myself
breathe.
because I was like, this is so funny. My dog then moved, and I got jump scared again because I was like, someone's in my apartment.
I love that. I love that for you. That's so funny. Oh my God.
But yeah, if anyone out there has a horror movie recommendation, I will absolutely watch it. Like,
please,
and I'll let you know. I'll report back.
Send it our way. I actually really like Midsummer. Like, I really love that movie.
Love that
movie. And I actually that weirdly became a comfort movie for me at one point to watch. I've only watched it like 2 or 3 times. But
hey, kid, are you okay? That's a crazy comfort movie.
Well, it happened. Okay. I'm just going to breeze over this real quick, not to bring the mood down or anything. Last year, I was assaulted on the train on my way to work. I got punched in the head. That sucked by a complete stranger. No warning, just happened. That sucked. That whole trend where women were talking about getting punched in the head on TikTok. I was one of those people. Great. And then like 2 days after that happened, I watched Midsummer for the second time, and it weirdly like comforted me. And I don't understand what it was, like me processing the assault that I went through, or and finding comfort that in this stressful situation she had this like cult family that were trying to take care of her. I don't know, it did something to my brain, and now it's like a weird comfort movie when I want to be stressed but also comfortable at the same time. I don't know.
That's
not to bring the mood
crazy.
down or anything like that, but that's what that explains that. But yeah, it became a weird comfort movie for me. But anyway,
No, I get it.
I will leave with one last story on this of getting spooked, and then we'll return to finish the book. There was one time
If anyone's still listening to this at this point.
Thanks, guys. Just real quick, quick story. I was scrolling through Instagram, and I found a post that was just a bunch of shit posts, and I was scrolling through the shit posting, just like laughing to myself. And then a picture came across where a guy was holding a giant, like African centipede, I think is what it is. And it was so large that both his hands were like up underneath it, and the body was like a giant snake over his hands, but it was a centipede. And it scared me so bad. It scared me so bad that I literally went, and I jiggled my phone in between my hands, and then I tossed it across the room. And I didn't even realize what I was doing until after my phone was across my bedroom floor. And my boyfriend at the time was laying next to me. He just turns and he looks at me, and he's like, what happened? And I was like, I just got so scared by a fucking disgusting centipede on a guy's hands.
That is hilarious. And also,
so gross.
Sounds awful because bug is a bug, and
it was a bug.
Unnatural size.
It was
It
was like a black oil slick with his hands like up inside the bottom. It was disgusting. Straight to jail. Get out of here, to the gulag with you. I won't have it. I deport it to El Salvador. I will not have it here in this country. No, that's terrible.
That's just unnatural.
Yeah,
it's an unnatural,
disgusting. Thing. So anyway, so they destroy the Venber base.
Oh right, all right. Yeah, so they're in the Yerk bug fighter.
Yeah,
and they just start blasting. They blast the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And
then they're flying away, and they realize that the Blade ship is on an intercept course to get them.
Yeah.
So then they morph into birds, and they jump out.
Yeah, they like set their bug fighter to explode, and then when it explodes, they jump out and morph into birds so they don't fall, and then they're back somehow exactly where they're supposed to be. I don't know how we got here or how you navigated.
I get.
And then
it took 3 hours to fly, right? Like, I don't know, but whatever.
And then
but they got back fine.
And then the last note that I have, I really should have clarified it a bit more, but I put, it ends with Marco showering and talking with his dad. Now that sounds like Marco is showering with his dad. He's not. Just FYI. Did not happen. And Marco showers, period. Then he goes downstairs to talk to his dad. And they have a nice conversation.
That's actually not accurate. He opens the door.
Oh, that's right.
To talk to his dad.
Yeah.
So presumably he's still showering, I
guess. I guess so. Dad's showers, sons. Hey.
He's showering for like an hour, and his dad's like, "Are you okay?"
And Marco's like, "Yeah,
he's like, "Yeah, no,
fine. I'm fine."
But his dad like complains that Marco had apparently in the last few days had a really clean room, and now it's not clean anymore. And he's like, "I knew it wouldn't last." And Marco's like, "Wow, I didn't expect Eric to clean."
He's like, "Now to make it dirty again."
Yeah, and then his dad's like, "You want to be best buds?" And Marco's like, "Yeah, Dad." And then that's pretty much how it ends.
Yeah, Dad. And that's how it ends. And then that's the ending of the book. So
it's like ranked in the kind of in the middle for me.
Yeah,
because like it's so inoffensive and fine.
Yeah.
But what a nothing burger of a book. Like, I will probably never think about this book again.
Yeah. It was just kind of like nothing. I mean, I don't. Does this need to be in a TV series? I don't think so. There's not really anything here. I like the idea of the conversation about, well, we need to eat this food to survive, but that's really the only thing that I really enjoyed in this.
No, I mean, if anything was going to be a lingering thing, I mean, it would probably be the 5, and I think that story can come up another way. I think we could probably find another way to fit that in somewhere else. I don't think anything in this needs.
There's really there's not much to be
unless they're going to use the polar bear morph, but I don't foresee that either.
No,
so I don't know,
because it's so isolated. They can only really use it in cold places, and
yeah, maybe if they go to like an ice planet or something, but which I could maybe see that happening. But
that would be fun.
Yeah.
You know,
they're still writing these things, right? Get it in there.
Put
Take
it
notes.
in. Put it in there. Otherwise, it would be so hard to make like a real story from this. Like the only way I could think, if I'm just thinking on it right now, of like a way to spin it, would be maybe Eric tells the gang like, "Hey, the Yeerks are trying to enslave this Venber race, and we need to go help them. They're keeping them in this frozen tundra." And then they're like, okay, let's go free this race and maybe they'll be able to help us. But they don't know the Venber melt in above freezing temperatures. So when they try to bring them onto the ship, they see they're starting to melt and they're just like, oh no. And they have to kind of like leave them there or something. Like, that's me like trying to reach for something a little more interesting, you know?
Not a bad pitch.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, well, it works.
Because it'd be kind of sad if if our like Animorph gangs were in the hangar and then they see the Venber outside and they're like, well, come on. And they're like, we can't go in there. And they're like, well, why not? And they're like, we're cursed. We would die. We'd be goo. Become goo.
Yeah.
Like Alex Mack.
And then Mr. 3 kills them.
So sad. He like pushes each one into the hangar.
Yeah. He's like, here, take this animal. We don't need him anymore.
That would actually be really fun. And then they could blow up the hangar and then go back home. Potential possibility.
I'm definitely still in the camp of just cut it entirely, but hey, loved it. Love that.
If we
love that you're working.
I'm doing my best.
Love that you're working on some body horror stuff, kid.
You know, I realize also, anytime where I feel like I need to make the story more intense or like have more gravitas or stakes, I always say like they should die.
You're a big dismemberment person.
I
as well,
am. I'm like weirdly passionate.
You're big on the dismemberments. Yeah. You're like, well, yeah. If he lost an arm, then it'd be really good.
But like, here's the thing. I think I say this now. This is a therapy session. I think I say this because that's the thing that would affect me emotionally the most. You know, like that's the thing that I would look at and be like, oh my God. Like this is serious. Like even though it happens over and over, it still doesn't get any easier when it does happen. That. Right. Thank you, Therapist Gianni. Actually, we did name you a therapist years ago. Nope, episodes ago. Remember?
Yeah. No, it's true. And no one's taken me up on it. But
not
again,
yet.
I'll put the call out there that if you're listening to the show, you want me to weigh in on something.
Yeah.
I exclusively stand 10 toes down.
10 toes down.
So send it my way. I will be your therapist. I will guide you up this mountain.
Heck
I can talk you through anything.
He's got your back.
I can talk you through anything.
Yeah.
Anything. I can talk you through it. I'm so good at it.
Mr. Gianni DeMaia, the guy in your corner.
Yeah, you give me one Snapple and you watch what I do.
Hey,
watch what I pull off.
You can pay him in Snapple.
I discovered that you can get Snapple ordered via Amazon, so
don't give Jeff Bezos more money, Gianni.
Buying in bulk, unfortunately.
No.
Look, here's the thing.
Go to like Thrive Market or something.
No, because then I gotta like lug it up I gotta lug it up the stairs. It's just too much.
No, you don't have to lug it up the stairs. You can just
I gotta lug it all the way over.
You cannot put money in a billionaire's pocket at this point, Gianni. What side of history are you going to stand on?
In this economy?
A Snapple drinker in this economy?
I actually do not know what this is. Now I'm making myself sad. I don't know if Snapples are manufactured in the country. They might be getting more expensive
Oh,
now.
no. You're going to be
I
so
have
sad.
to look that up.
A $30 Snapple.
Dude, I would be. That's how you get me in the street. I could take everything else, but I draw the line.
But don't take my Snapple.
Don't tread on my Snapple.
It's just a snake wrapped around an empty Snapple bottle. Don't tread on my Snapple.
Yeah, if anyone's a graphic designer out there and wants to sell exactly one shirt to me,
please.
Then you can make that shirt.
I need to see it. Please send the design over. That would be amazing. With a little bottle cap scattered further away on the ground.
There's no way anyone's still listening to this.
No. Anyway, let's get to the next book, Mr. Giotti.
Hell yeah. Is this one also ghostwritten?
I can't tell you that, remember? I'm not supposed to reveal it.
Yeah.
But you're going to like this cover also. The Attack.
Is it called The Attack?
The Attack.
Okay. Jesus. Come on, man.
What? You don't think that's cool?
What? Why is he got to be open-mouthed? That's the...
Because he's roaring. He's like Katy Perry. He roars.
What the fuck is this?
What are we looking at, Gianni?
The third image, when his sweatshirt starts to become muscle tissue, I hate it. My god.
Tell us what we're looking at. Describe for the folks, Mr. Gianni.
Yeah, it's Jake, and he's morphing into a tiger, but, like, the tiger is open-mouthed, kind of mid-jump for some reason.
Yeah, he's attacking, because it's the attack.
The second image where he has just a little tail.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
A little bit
of a little tail.
And a little bit of an open-mouthed cat face. And he's kind of like
rah.
And then the third one, he's like,
It's like when the frustration sound cats make with the chitter noise that they make. Do you know? Yeah, that. Yeah. That's the mouth.
I hate the sound, but yeah.
Oh, I like it. I'll do that with my cat. I'll put the reflection from the sun on my phone and put it on the wall, and he'll see it on the ceiling, and he goes. Like he makes that the chittering noise, and then we feel bad for him because he can't get it, so we give him lots of treats and pet him and say that he's very good.
Yeah, you'll get it. You'll get it
one day, buddy. You'll get it. All right. So, what do you think The Attack is about? Before I give you a description, what's that tagline say, Gianni?
The tagline is also one of the funniest taglines they've had. It says, "Change is necessary." ... Like, okay, sure. I guess it is. What is The Attack about?
Yeah, what's
if
it
I had
about?
to wager a guess.
Yeah, give me a guess.
Probably about an attack. If I had
Holy
to wager
shit,
a guess.
Gianni.
Here's what I hope it's about. I hope it's Jake sitting at home, and he's sitting around, and he's doing nothing, and all of a sudden, Yerk invasion in his house. They just start blowing in the doors. Orc Bajir, there's like a SWAT raid like coming in, but it's Orc Bajir and the Taxons, and they're all coming after him, and he's got to morph into a tiger, and he's got to figure out how did they find him? How do they know? How do they track me here? Blah blah blah. That's what I hope it is.
Nice.
I know it won't be, but that's what I hope it is.
I mean, okay. I'm going to give you an official description. You might be slightly close.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. The description is as follows.
Okay.
The Animorphs have met the Elemist.
No.
He helped to save the kids when they were about to be eaten by a Taxon. He helped, and they put helped in quotes, he helped to free 2 Hork-Bajir and restored Tobias's morphing ability. But even though the Elemist has enormous power, he is not all-powerful. He has an enemy. No, don't breathe. Keep that breath. Suck that breath back in. He has an enemy, the Krayak. So the Krayak and the Ellimist decide that a battle will prove their ultimate power. But they don't intend to fight each other. The Ellimist will choose the Animorphs, Axe, and Eric the Chi, and the Krayak will choose his own army. But if the Animorphs lose, they will be erased from the universe altogether, and there'll be no one left to fight the Yeerks.
So the plot is Mortal Kombat.
It's a game of chess between two gods, except humans instead of chess pieces.
The plot of this next book is going to be Mortal Kombat. That's the plot of this book.
Yeah, fatality.
First of all, why would you choose Jake? He's not the best fighter in the Animorphs.
He's a tiger,
That's
though.
Rachel.
That is Rachel. You're right.
Silly. The LMS clearly doesn't know his fighters.
But he's also choosing Eric and the Chi. They can't fight.
Well, Eric technically unlocked the ability to fight.
But then he changed it back.
Won't do it.
No, he changed it back.
Did he change it back?
Yeah, he switched
Did
his he switched his programming back because he realized it was wrong for them to
Oh, the
fight.
Ellimist is a fucking idiot then. They're going to get wiped,
Listen,
bro.
listen.
They're going to get absolutely cleared.
They have an advantage with Eric and the
Which
Chi.
is?
Holograms.
Give me a fucking break.
Listen, Gianni,
First of all,
holograms everywhere.
the Ellimist being in this series has already driven me insane. And now you're telling me there's another evil Ellimist?
Yeah.
Oh.
The Krayak. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's Crayak. Krayak.
Are you going to tell me when we're in the... Because now I'm like just dreading it. Are you going to tell me when we're in the 20
Yeah,
in a
I'll let
row
you know.
ghostwritten
I'll
book?
let you know. I'll tell you this.
We're
is
not in it.
We're not in it. No.
Okay. Oh my
But
God.
also keep in mind there are only 54 books, and we're on book 25.
So it's coming up. It's going to come any second now.
Yeah. What if, Gianni, what if I told you the last book was ghostwritten?
Stop it. Really?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, that would be crazy. Holy
But I liked
shit.
for a second, I saw real panic in your eyes.
There was fear. I was almost like, why did we do this?
Why are we doing this? No,
Yeah,
I don't want that.
She couldn't even finish her own series. Yeah, no. Okay,
No,
so
no,
she
no.
did it. She did.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's got to be any second now. I mean, we're running out of books. I don't know what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. That's, oh, man. Do we have, like, a lot of spin-offs coming up in between? Maybe there's
I think we
spin-offs
have.
that she gave to Ghostwriters?
No, she did all the spin-offs herself. We have another Megamorphs. Oh, okay. In this list, we actually have the Alternamorphs.
What the hell's the Alternamorphs?
You remember the Choose Your Own Ending?
Yes,
Oh
that
my
I
God.
said I would buy and then we would read it on the show.
Yeah,
That's
but they actually
crazy.
have it in this list, in the list of downloads that we have, folks. Okay, so I'll tell you this.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I would put those on the Ghostwriter as well.
Yeah. So we've got the Alternamorphs were ghostwritten. So we've got the next Megamorphs book is 29.3 on our list.
Yeah.
And then the Alternamorphs is 29.6. So that's the first Alternamorphs. And then I forgot about this. We have a book that's just called Visser. Coming up in the 30s.
It's about the Visser 3 or
A Visser 3
That's in the
spin-off
30s?
book. Yeah,
that's
it's
a
in the 30s.
spin-off? Okay.
Uh-huh. And then we've also got
And that one's ghostwritten or that one's not ghostwritten?
not ghostwritten.
Okay, got it.
And then we've got the second Alternamorphs in the 40s, and then another Megamorphs in the 40s. And then we've got the Ellimist in the 40s. And then that's the end of the spin-offs. So
And none of those are ghostwritten that we're aware of.
none of those except for the Alternamorphs are ghostwritten that I am aware
Okay.
of. So
Gee, Jiminy Jillikers, guys. What did we get roped into here? Listen, here's the thing. I'm fine with the ghostwriters existing, but if we're gonna keep making them like the extreme, then it's gonna be a bit of a slog.
Listen,
to get through.
Nobody said it was all the same ghostwriter. Also,
Yeah,
it could be a bunch of different people.
Is it a bunch of different people?
I don't know. I don't know for sure. I don't know who the ghostwriters are, or if it's one person. Yeah.
I'll tell you this for free, and I could probably get in a lot of trouble. Maybe we should cut this out. But I have ghostwritten a book.
No way.
It is true, and I am not allowed to say what book it is. It is a Greek mythology book. If you are able to find it, I put this out to the people. If you're able to find which book you think I ghostwrit, it's a Greek mythology book. I'll tell you that for free, and I will sign it.
Email us.
No money.
Email us if you think you know what it is, and I will just say yes or no. After confirming with Gianni, I won't read it on the podcast just because I don't want Gianni to get in trouble.
I won't tell you.
But that's sick. That's sick as fuck. Hey, look at you, Mr. Writer.
Yeah, I am a writer, and here's the thing, it's not good.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's not a good book. I had to write it though.
Love that.
Yeah, and then so I am a ghost writer.
Do you want to ghostwrite an outline for an Animorphs book? You don't have to not literally dialogue, but get an idea for a plot and morphs used and what happens.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing. I don't outline shit. I go with the flow.
Fuck
baby.
yeah, dude.
I go with the absolute flow.
Yeah, love that.
But yeah, you will never find it. The book in question. But go for it.
Yeah,
Have fun.
if you do happen to find it, you can let us know through our email. morphinbuddies@gmail.com. That's morphinbuddies at
gmail.com.
And have you heard yourself saying it?
No,
have you heard the episodes?
No, I turn us off the second.
Gianni, you got to do it. It's so good. It's so good. I can't tell you how good it is.
I hate
It gives me a little bit of joy because now I know the cadence of how you say each letter.
Yeah.
And I just kind of shout it nervously along with you.
What's
and it's like a sing-along.
What's the cadence? I don't even know what it sounds like.
GMAIL. That's pretty much how it is. So you always slightly question the end. It's pretty good.
Yeah, if you listen to this whole episode, then thank you. They're about to be all like this, I guess, because we're about to get 1 billion ghostwritten books.
This is great, though. This is fun. This is fun. So thank you so much, our lovely Morphin Buddies, for writing in, talking to us, putting up with our tangents and our offshoots.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
And this is so much fun going on this little journey with you. We hope you're enjoying it too.
Yeah, for sure. It's a blast.
For sure.
I mean, we just hang out, and then other people turn us off, I'm sure.
But yeah, thank you so much for writing in and listening, and we will see you in our next episode. Bring your Snapples next time you listen.
Hell yeah.
To the next episode of Morphin Buddies.
Bye!